Well, to begin this, I've broken out some of the cadmiums. Going to be using my usual palette, but a little more cad yellow pale, cad red medium, a little quinacridone magenta. That's about it. I guess everything else is pretty much the same. Anyway, let's start playing. Let's start with a little bit of cad yellow pale and burnt sienna. Switch knives a minute here. I'm going to throw in a hint of alizarin crimson for a few strokes. Oops, I want a hard edge on that. Trying to be fairly careful about where I put my strokes, because although I am just painting in the background, I need to paint in the design for the background while I'm at it. Even though it's fairly impressionistic, it still needs to be somewhat coherent. Okay. Now for a little while I'm just going to be doing some holding my breath and releasing my breath in a heavy sigh. So I think I'll just speed things up a little bit. know, I think this, I left this a bit of a branch in the middle here, but it was right in the middle between these two trees. You know, maybe not to the millimeter, but it was close enough. I just did away with it. That's fine. Tried to pull a little more light onto the right hand side. Now we're going to carve in around this foreground tree using the foliage that's going to set atop these three trunks. I'm gonna use a little cobalt blue there, and a little ultramarine blue, and some yellow ochre, and burnt sienna, I guess. I could use a smaller knife for these smaller strokes, but you know, you do tend to end up with a little more of a detailed looking painting, and I'm not after that right now. I think I'd prefer to keep those strokes broad and stronger looking. Okay. A little more of that mix. Warming it up a little bit though. As we carve around here. And a little more. So you can tell by the number of times that I keep mixing small piles on my palette just for the same color. You know, you can tell that I'm doing that, and that's intentional. If I were to pre-mix a whole batch of that color, you know, this general color, then you got such a pile there, you tend to, the whole area tends to look like the same color. I don't want that, the same value, you know. I would like to make sure that I keep a variety of things going here. This is an aid to doing that. Back to the same pile, but this time just adding some yellow ochre and some white. As the foliage comes around the tree, facing more towards the sun, we're getting a few brighter colors again, a few more intense ones, higher chroma, higher value. Okay, that's a bit sloppy there. Strong strokes are good. Sloppy, strong strokes are not good. Okay, now I am going to switch back to a smaller knife to just get around this little area. I'm being a little bit particular as to the shape here. It's kind of fun when your strokes look a little bit like an accident. But we both know they're not. Accidents do occur, and yeah, the happy accidents do occur too, but as I've said, that's not... If you bank on that, you're setting yourself up for a lot of failures, a lot of unhappy accidents. Okay. Okay, a little more of this treetop, but going darker again. Because this is in complete shade. Whoops. Let me just kick the tripod a few times so the camera stays nice and still. Okay, that was a bit dark. It's okay. We can overlay some light on that. But you know, if you lay in some dark strokes like I've laid in right here, and if you find them to be a bit too dark, you can add a little bit of light to them, but try to keep that light a cold light. See, I've gone a little bit bluer there. So now that little spot has a bit of shape but it's still cold, still appears to be in the shade. Now, I'm going to throw a little more darkness in here and there. Just to try to keep that bush or that treetop somewhat interesting. We'll cover that trunk. Give that a little bit the appearance of foliage as well. Foliage. Okay, now what I tend to do now is just dabble and dabble and dabble little spots with my knife, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and before you know it, the whole area becomes weak. And I would like in general, the painting to remain fairly strong. So I better stop. I better stop right now. Now we're looking through the trees, past this canopy, at other trees in the distance. That's where our light's coming from. Now we'll have sort of silhouette of trunks, trees. That'll be a bit darker, and then as we come forward, we'll have light again on the foreground, catching this trunk, you know, maybe parts of these other trunks, and this foliage as well. So, light, dark, light. You know, I think I'd like to just, I don't know that I like this orange the way it's sitting there, because I kind of like the shape of that bush, and I might, what do I mean I might? I actually am doing it. So I think I'm putting some purple in here, adding another color. Yeah. Where this reddish bush sits against the bright background, it will have the appearance of being quite dark. Oop, a little too red. I'll just keep with the blue in there. And then as well continue it on that side of the tree as well a little bit. And then as we come closer, we're taking cobalt blue, the same stuff I was just using, cobalt blue and cad red medium. I'm adding a touch of alizarin crimson to that too. See what we come up with. Yeah. now that we're away from that dark edge, we start to see some of the actual colors that we have in there. Because you're not blinded by the background so much. Your eye can perceive color a little bit better. Add a hint of ultramarine. That'll keep it from getting too pink. I hope. I'm always hoping. Playing it by ear a little bit. Always playing it by ear a little bit. Or playing it by eye, I guess, in this case. Okay, that's a little too tidy, that spot. This bush will be in front of that trunk base. Now I added a hint of yellow ochre to this mixture of cad red medium and cobalt blue and alizarin crimson. A little bit of yellow ochre to warm it up and indicate that we're coming a little bit closer. I think that, seeing as I believe our trees are going to end right there, our trunks. I think we can do that. See now on the edge of this next tier of bush, we're going light against that dark. Again, to very clearly define the edge. So, we're using the same theory on this edge as we are on that one, except for in this case, we're going dark against light to show the edge. And in nature, if you look at a light object and a dark object, we can't work with light, we can only work with values. So that's why I exaggerate the darks against the lights, and then down here the lights against the darks, or at least make them dramatic enough so that they stand out. Okay, now that's all fine and dandy, but undergrowth, well, any tree, any foliage sometimes likes to throw out some stray rebel bits of color, keeping variety in there. So we add a little white there just to liven things up a little bit. And that's the edge, but I would like to also just show whoops. I don't want too much of a perfect triangle there. Okay. Maybe I'll just stop with that quite while I'm ahead. Kind of the way the painting is developing, we're beginning to appear to have a bit of a sort of a path, you know, a visual one if not an actual one. And that's good. That'll help lead the eye into the focal point or into the focal area. You know, right now we would call this the focal point, okay? And if that's not the focal point, it's darn close to it. You know, highest value, highest chroma. Very close to what will be fairly defined shapes that are darker. Focal point. Really the biggest area, focal area, you know, where all the interests, where the confluence of drama and varying chromas and values meet. Well, sorry, I guess that's what confluence means. So I think I'm stopping there. I'd like to get this published so I can get a video out today early enough. I might publish another one later. I'm going to keep painting, and I might just end up publishing that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you for watching.